I'd say I owe an apology to the bishop in Burlington, Vermont. We got a phone call on Friday. Jake, why don't you tell us about it? We got this phone call alerting us to something that I did. What happened?
Well, it was actually Thursday because we were off on Friday for the Feast of the Assumption.
I've forgotten already.
Yes. How quickly we forget our time off. But anyway, we got a call to the office from a wonderful listener of ours in Vermont. And he was a member of the Diocese of Burlington. And he wanted to know where we got our information that we had apparently reported on this show in a news update that the Bishop of Burlington was stepping down due to some sort of allegation in a Vatican investigation. And we were very confused because I didn't remember hearing that, and I figured we would have talked a lot about that because it sounds like a big story. And I don't remember discussing it at all. Never came up in the after show or anything. So I looked back.
But alas, we did.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I went back. He played the clip for us over the phone, and I could hardly believe it. In fact, at one point, I thought maybe it was even an AI-edited clip that he had somehow come across because over the phone, it sounded not quite like your voice. But I looked it up on our archive of the video, and it was exactly what he played. And I was very confused, and so I got a hold of you on the phone because I looked at the history of the edits to the show document, and somehow it looked like you had changed the story that I put in there from the Pillar about a bishop-elect in Poland who had stepped down because of an allegation, and he was not going through with his consecration.
Poland is not generally known to be very close to Burlington, Vermont.
They're a little far away from each other, and they don't really sound like each other either. Poland, Vermont, not that close. The bishop
English in Vermont. I'm not sure what they speak in Poland. It's too many consonants, not enough vowels, but okay.
And certainly the names of the bishop of the men involved are not anything alike either.
Nothing alike. Okay, but you have the clip.
I do have the clip from what Joe played on Wednesday last week.
The Pillar reports Bishop-elect steps down after reports of inappropriate behavior. Bishop-elect John McDermott of Burlington resigned before his consecration due to a report of inappropriate behavior toward a minor, prompting a Vatican investigation. The Diocese of Burlington announced that McDermott, who denied the allegation, stepped down to avoid distracting from the diocese's mission, and the Vatican will appoint an apostolic administrator to lead until a new bishop is named. And Catholic Vote reports. Okay, there you go. There's the clip. And I said those words. I mean, that was me saying those words.
It wasn't AI.
It wasn't AI. Actually, was it AI? And I think that's the trick right here. So this is what happened. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Yep.
So this is the story that we were reporting. This is the actual story, the Pillar. And here's the thing. We take these stories and we have to compress them down. And Jake helps with this process. Praise be to God. Actually, it's a huge help to me. So he sort of seeds my show document. I've got a show document. I'll show it to you so you can see it. This is what my show document looks like. And this is what my news segments look like. So you can see it for yourself if you're watching on video. If you're listening on the radio, it's just a short little paragraph. It gives me the headline, the link to the article, and a tiny little paragraph. But oftentimes, we're seeding it with a lot more information. And then I have to cull that down. Well, I've been experimenting. And boy, did it ever bite me. I've been experimenting using the AI tool Grok over at X to summarize articles for me. I haven't had any issues until now. This is a big issue, a very serious issue. So what I would do is, just to explain it, is I would type into Grok, this AI tool. I would say, summarize this article into 2 sentences. And then I put a link. And then it gives me a 2-sentence summary. And then I cut and paste that into my document. So the reality is, the real story is that it was a bishop-elect in Poland, in Warsaw, who asked the Vatican to step down after it became, I guess it was public or it was made known that he had a past of inappropriate contact with minors. The Vatican allowed him to step down, and now they're in the process of finding a new bishop elect there in Warsaw. But it's wild that that AI, artificial intelligence, Grok in particular, somehow out of this article decided to place, of all people, Bishop John Joseph McDermott from Burlington in this article. Like, explain that to me. How is that even possible? I mean, what's worse is I didn't even fact check it. I didn't even go back to verify the details. So that's on me. That's 100% my fault. And the bishop in Vermont doesn't deserve to have his name, maligned in this way, his reputation maligned in this way. Your Excellency, I'm begging you for forgiveness. This is my fault. I'm sorry. And I won't be using Grok to summarize any more articles at this point because it can't be trusted. Nobody else deserves to have the, inappropriate things said about them when that aren't true. So I won't be doing that. But it really does beg the question. It's a teachable moment in the sense that how is it that artificial intelligence could get this so wrong? I mean, look at some of these names. Jake, help me understand. How does one even pronounce some of these names? Like, I don't even know. Like, they're so vastly different than Bishop John Joseph McDermott that I just can't wrap my head around how AI just said, you know what? I think we're going to throw Burlington, Vermont into this. It doesn't make any sense to me.
All I can think of is that when you sent it a Pillar article link, somehow in the depths of its, potentially diabolical origin, it decided to say, no, I'm going to pick a different article from the Pillar and mix it up with this one. I'm going to assume maybe there was a Pillar article about the Bishop of Burlington. Maybe recently. I didn't check, beyond the last few days for the article, but it seems like it just mixed it up entirely with a different, a different article about a different bishop, and then mashed the two together, and it became this, fake news about the Bishop of Burlington. That's the only thing I can think of because otherwise it just completely hallucinated something fake. Like
really, exactly.
Aside from like mixing two things together and presenting it as one.
If this isn't a story of warning, I don't know.
Exactly.
This is why we really wanted to talk about this today. Yep. And very grateful to the listener that called in to even ask the question. Because
absolutely,
he was the only one we heard from.
Yeah. I didn't notice. The link to the Pillar article was still the same, so I put that into the show notes. So the show notes were fine. Those were still correct because it was the original article link. But I wasn't, I was listening to something. I was paying attention to something else at the time. I didn't catch that article. And thankfully, some listener did and addressed it and called into us. So thank you for holding us accountable.
Now, I'm sure I'm sure somebody's going to go, Joe, you're just using the Grok thing wrong. Maybe that's true. Let me go back here. I'm going to actually demonstrate this. I've retyped in the prompt and I've added the actual link to the Pillar article. And the prompt says, summarize this article into 2 sentences, right? And maybe there's like a better, more accurate setting or something. I don't know. But I hit the go button there, and now it's searching and it's thinking and it's doing its thing, and it's now come up with the response. Only this time, I see nothing about Burlington, Vermont in there. And again, even if it's right this time, it says a Polish priest, and it does look like he got the name correct this time, appointed it as an auxiliary bishop of Radom, stepped down before his episcopal ordination due to a report of a past inappropriate behavior toward a minor, as announced by the bishop. Looks like he got that name right as well. On August the 9th, the diocese initiated proceedings in accordance with canon law. Blah, blah, blah. It looks like he got it right this time. But how do I know if I can trust it? I mean, I suppose if I use the tool, I'd have to go fact check it every time. I just think it demonstrates that AI isn't where a lot of people think it is. And I think it also demonstrates that, is certainly in this case for me, how it set me up. I allowed it to set me up to malign the good name of Bishop John Joseph McDermott, whom I know literally nothing about. He certainly didn't deserve that. And so once again, I apologize for that. But I think it's a teachable moment. I saw an article I saw an article over at the Catholic News Agency today, by the way. We're going to link to this in the show notes. It says, Catholic bioethics expert on AI, it's not too late to put the genie back in the bottle. He says, as artificial intelligence has become more widespread, a Catholic bioethics expert is warning against the dangers posed by it, saying it's not too late to put the genie back in the bottle and avoid the worst effects of the new technology. Pope Leo XIV has already warned that AI could have negative effects on the development of young people and contribute to a loss of the sense of the human. He took the name Leo XIV to connect himself to Leo XIII, who himself was dealing with the Industrial Revolution of the late century, which totally transformed culture. Moral theologian Charles Camossi, a bioethics professor at the Catholic University of America and an unclaimed author, told EWTN News in depth on August the 15th, quote, we're undergoing right now a similar technological change that is going to totally transform the culture. How do we respond? Well, is it not too late, or is it too late? I don't see any will in society to put the brakes on AI in a significant way. Do you? I mean, Jake, do you? I don't. I think it's all moving forward.
Definitely.
So AI is already in your smartphone. It helps you to take photos right now, whether you wanted to or not. AI is doing that. AI is built into many of the tools that I use in my video editing tool. AI is used, the neural network is built into my video editing tool in the background. I can't turn that off. It just is. Photoshop, same thing. And many of these news outlets, Ground News, for instance, a source that I rely upon heavily, Ground News uses AI to summarize their articles. Do I now need to go fact check them? Or do they fact check themselves? I don't know. But I think this is a word of warning for all of us, that as AI becomes more prevalent in society, perhaps we need to take greater caution and care on how we actually use it. Certainly, I allowed myself to become complacent, a little bit lazy. I just thought it was the easy button. Summarize these articles, super fast, super easy. And the result was a bishop had his name maligned who didn't deserve it. Again, Bishop John Joseph McDermott from Burlington, Vermont, I apologize. Please forgive me. Did you like that video? It's okay. You can admit it. It's perfectly fine. Hey, we cover the big stories of our day, from inside the church to outside the church to all points in between, and we do it from a Catholic perspective. It's called A Catholic Take. It's a radio program Monday through Friday. We live stream it right here on this channel, by the way, so make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We would be very grateful to you. And don't forget, you're going to want to watch this video right here because you don't want to miss anything.